Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your second breakout. I'm still your host, Marnick Vandebroek. And like I said, this is going to be the best breakout you've ever been through because I have a very special guest. And you already saw it in the introduction video. My special guest is no one else than Keshnie Martin. Hope I pronounced it right. Keshnie Martin is HR Director, South Africa for Accenture. Normally, she's super ready, super pumped to share with her insights. She has 18 years of experience. She's responsible for the HR strategy, the policy making, and the whole transformation within Accenture. And she's going to talk about probably one of the hottest topics right now. She calls it "Let There Be Change." Change is all around us. Everybody knows the world is changing, and the last couple of years, the last 2 years, change has been very extreme. And it's asking a lot from organizations, from people, but also brings a lot of positive things. And what she's going to talk about is how can you deal with those things? How can you deal with those changing environments? And most of all, in driving that change through the organization, how can you get the trust of stakeholders? And how can you move forward with everybody aligned? So without further ado, I would like to give the floor with a presentation, Let There Be Change, to Keshnie Martin. Floor is yours. Take it away.
Thanks for the intro, Marnick. I must say I'm developing new skills in online schooling tutoring for my 13-year-old daughter, as well as lots and lots of patience that comes with that. And I'm sure there's many people in the audience who are experiencing the same thing. So good day, everyone, from a stormy Gauteng. You will hear lots of thunder in the background, so I must apologize for that. It is a great pleasure to be here today and to share with you some of Accenture's best practice around responsible business and leadership. As Marnick mentioned, my name is Keshnie Martin, and I'm the HR lead for Accenture Africa. So for those who don't know who we are, Accenture is a global professional services company with leading capabilities in digital, cloud, and security. Combining experience and specialized skills across more than 40 industries, we offer strategy and consulting, interactive operations, and technology services, all powered by the world's largest network of advanced technology and intelligent operations centers. So we've got 506,000 employees globally, who deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity every day, serving clients in over 120 countries. What we're really passionate about is driving change to create value and shared success for our clients, our people, our communities, our shareholders, and our partners. So speaking about change, the new decade has forced us to reconsider the way we live, the way we work, the way we produce, the way we trade. And at Accenture, we believe that the next legacy is about responsible business in action. And at the 2020 World Economic Forum, Accenture, in collaboration with the World Economic Forum Global Shaper and Young Leader community, introduced a point of view seeking new leadership and what it means to lead and navigate the decade ahead responsibly. The research spanned over 20,000 people in 10 countries and 15 industries. And as part of that research, we spoke to 700 young global leaders and shapers, asking them their views around responsible leadership. And I'm going to share a video about some of the views around what we need to be doing as leaders.
Leading when you have to make tough choices. It's easy to be a leader when times are going well and the choices are easy. But responsibility really comes up when you have to stand up for what you believe in.
Someone who can really empathize with their community.
Forward-thinking visionaries who are not looking at solving problems of today, but they're looking at solving problems of the future and keeping planet Earth healthy.
It's listening to the community, the environment, and yourself, and taking a path forward when others aren't able to act.
Someone who is not afraid to take a chance and be bold and taking sacrifices in their community.
Deeply and truly concerned about what matters to the people.
So responsible leaders continually push themselves out of their comfort zone, and they connect to the changes that are happening in the world, and they align their organizations and themselves with what those changes mean.
Someone from that community who can stand up for the rights of someone who's marginalized or may not be at the table and fight for that person to be included and have their voice heard in a really meaningful way.
That's nice. You did a different angle on that.
Thank you.
So some of the key messages coming from our young leaders around responsible businesses and leaders are, having empathy with and looking after the communities around us. It's around having a long-term view and solving for the future. It's about saving our environment and our planet. And the social, economic, and environmental challenges of 2020 requires a new approach to business responsibility. So what are the forces that are driving this change? Emerging technologies have to be managed for both their potential promise and their peril. Data analytics and AI are transforming the way and the pace in which we do business and make business decisions. However, there is a risk of leaving our people behind. Investment in technology have doubled between 2017 and 2019 for a lot of organizations. But only 18% of organizations have planned to significantly increase spending to reskill their people in the next 3 years. And this was pre-COVID. Most organizations, their training budgets have been impacted around COVID, because of COVID. We look at sustainability. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for our people and the planet. At the heart of this is the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which is an urgent call for action by all countries in a global partnership. They recognize that ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, that reduce inequality and spur economic growth, all while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. The next thing that's driving this change is stakeholder expectations. Our stakeholders are speaking out. A tweet from Greta Thunberg, the climate activist, has the potential to move stock prices. A recent Global Shapers survey of 30,000 young people revealed that the most important criteria after salary, let me stress salary, is an employer's sense of purpose or impact on society. And then COVID-19, the previous speaker, Milind, had a lot to share on the impact of COVID-19. And the pandemic has redefined our way of work, impacting our people, our businesses, our communities, and the world. And Accenture's vision is to improve the way the world works and how our people live. And we've established a responsible framework that is anchored around our 3+1 pillars. Sorry, I just need to get back to my clicker. Give me 1 second, guys. There we go. Cool. So what is the 3+1 pillars? Our first pillar is around being a responsible company and employer, and that is around taking care of our people and their families. It's around creating opportunities and upskilling our employees. The first best practice I'm going to share with you shortly speaks about our mental health awareness campaign, and where we look at how we can keep our people healthier. We also consider our leadership DNA, behaviors as part of our performance management process, and we try to make a difference to our communities and society through all our projects and initiatives. The second pillar is about being a responsible client partner. It's around adding responsible business to projects which can impact societies. It's around assisting our clients and partners to become responsible businesses. And it's around including responsible business as part of the account planning stage. Sorry, guys. And pillar number 3 is about being a responsible citizen. And that our second case study speaks to this, around supporting our local communities and collaborating with our nonprofit organizations. And pillar number 4 is around building our brand as a responsible business thought leader. through points of views, through communications, through research, and sharing these. So I'm going through to our best practice. Okay. Cool. So our first best practice focuses on pillar number 1, which is being a responsible company. The I Am Human campaign is a mental health awareness campaign that was developed in South Africa. The aim of the campaign was to destigmatize mental health challenges. People feel ashamed to be themselves and are forced to hide their problems. This creates a compressed and anxious work environment and underperforming staff. So we wanted to create an environment in which our people can be proud of who they are and get the support that they need. We'll also be looking at educating our employees around mental health, bring home the reality that anyone can have mental health issues and it has no boundaries. It also equips employees to support their colleagues and friends. We also looked at creating dialogue between business and employees to foster greater trust and support our employees and their overall mental well-being in the workplace. And lastly, it was to expose staff to the channels of support that Accenture provides. The campaign was supported and driven by our Africa CEO, and we have mental health allies within the business at all career levels, as well as our EAP partner who supported us on this journey. But key to our program are our ambassadors who have shared their incredibly personal and powerful journeys with all our employees. I mean, we had things like Q&A sessions, and we had quite a lot of their stories shared on our platforms. And this sharing of personal experiences have had such a positive impact on our people. So the many others have come forward and to share their experiences and also to reach out for the support that they need. It was such a well-received campaign that it is being launched in many other countries globally. And whilst it was supposed to run until October, we are now continuing with this initiative. Cool. And then going to let's just try to get there. So I'm not seeing it change. Oh, here we go. Okay. So our second case study speaks to the being a responsible citizen pillar. Okay. So electricity and connectivity to the internet can determine if a community will be sustainable into the future or not. Connectivity alone, however, is not enough. Knowing how to best use this connectivity to stimulate an entrepreneurial economy is equally important for the sustained economic prosperity of a community. So the CE3 project, which stands for Connectivity, Electricity, and Education for Entrepreneurship, is an economic acceleration model that uses digital technologies to equip rural off-grid communities with access to affordable, reliable electricity, internet connectivity, and appropriate education that are not really accessible in a lot of places in Africa due to lack of infrastructure or affordable resources, right? So Accenture South Africa invested in a 50 kilowatt microgrid in Jozini, which is a rural area that focuses mostly on agricultural farming. For most small-scale farmers, a high proportion of their crop is lost post-harvest due to poor storage and transportation. So what the microgrid does, it provides not just electricity, but also covers irrigation and powers the storage, the cold storage. So we also have a team who helps the farmers to get access to the local markets, for example, the local retailers to sell their products. They also train the farmers on how to diversify their products, how to transport and store their products, etc. 20% of the energy is also then sold to local businesses at reduced rates, enabling them to be more efficient and productive. This 20% is managed, or the cash that's received from this 20% is managed by the farmers and is used to repair the facilities. The remaining 10% powers a business incubation center, where we partner with NGOs to train up community members whilst helping the NGOs to put together the content. And we train from on a variety of skills, right? From digital skills to website development to hospitality, welding, being an electrician. We speak to the demands that are required within that community. And then we help people to get funding to start up their businesses, right? So, for example, we've got a young team right now who have started up their business in producing and packaging maize and selling to the community at below normal retail prices. And we assisted them to get funding for the startup, which was amazing. We've also managed to connect one of the other startups, which is a hospitality business, with the largest hotel in Jazini, and get them to provide the housekeeping and catering services. And as you see, these are all long-term initiatives. We are now building a second incubation center. We're actually partnering with another organization within South Africa. And the reality of it is that organizations do need to partner to solve the challenges our planet faces. We have a similar setup in Uganda, another country within Africa, where the anchor tenant is a school and uses 70% of the electricity that's produced by the microgrid. And the rest of it is sold to small businesses, like barbers and welders, which helps them to be more sufficient. This is an amazing project, which is really changing the lives of the communities. And we are very, very proud of our involvement in this. And then finally, I would like to quote enrich, our global CHRO. Now, organizations have the opportunity and obligation to drive growth in tandem with positive social and environmental outcomes. And this starts by defining what it means to be a responsible business. And that's it. Back to you, Marnick. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keshnie. Thank you very much for that wonderful presentation. And to all the people watching and still thinking, I want my question answered by Keshnie, now is the time to put that question in the chat and I'll transfer it to her for the remaining minutes that we have. Keshnie, I'm also looking at my screen, and the backstage crew also told me that another speaker just joined our breakout session. Maybe a short introduction, like who joined the session?
So Marnick, at Accenture, we definitely believe the more the merrier, right? So I would like to introduce a colleague of mine, Keshnie Nkuna, who is the head of our corporate citizenship and inclusion and diversity for Accenture Africa. Keshnie has over 16 years experience in transformation, corporate social investment, public relations and brand management, and she possesses a deep passion for development and transformation, especially developing people and communities to reach their full potential. So welcome, Keshnie.
Yeah, also welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining. I'm looking at times when we're going to dive straight into the questions. Just to let you know, people are saying that it was a great project, or is still a great project, it's still ongoing. Great project that you presented, and apparently it's raining in Malaysia. I just wanted to share. I just wanted to share that with you because you started with the thunder. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Sorry, Marnick, go for it.
Talking about the transformation, I don't know who's going to answer this, but changes is of course a big topic. But let's look at the I Am Human project that is still going on. You said it was a success. In short, and I think you also already mentioned some stuff, but it's really important. How did you manage to create that into a success and drive that message, that purpose, if I can call it, through the organization? Is it the ambassadors? Is it the empathy? I'm just naming some words that you said. What is the key for the people watching right now to drive a project like that through Accenture in your case?
Sure. Keshnie, I'll answer this and you can jump in. So I think what's very important around this is support, right? You need to have support within the business, and right from your leaders and your CEO, you have to have support. You have to have that interest in trying to make a difference for your people. And what really worked was, we got our people who had gone through challenging times from a mental health perspective, who were open enough to want to share and support their peers. And it was around, trying to get people forward. And the more people shared, the more other people came forward and wanted to share more. And that really has been the success. So we essentially, we've given our people the platform to share, and what we also then made sure is that we had the support should someone want to share. If someone was sharing about their mental health challenges. How could we help them? What was the support structures in place for them? So that's really how it's worked really, really well. And yeah, it just seems to be growing.
There you go. Nice.
And I think I'll add on to that, Kesh, just around the role of empathy, and empathetic. This is really, really critical to creating a safe space, so that our people feel comfortable to actually share, their specific stories. And the overwhelming response from all our people in terms of the fact that when they shared their stories, they all shared to say, my leader, my team was there to support me throughout this period. I never felt alone, so that is the key emphasis of it, that safety, so that people are not afraid to share their stories and to be vulnerable.
Okay, so I remember getting leadership on board, so they support you in launching the project. I remember you saying that once you have those, how do you call it, the key group that starts to share in that safe environment, like you say, then you see that people will catch on, and it's the snowball effect that the project starts rolling. Is that a good summary?
Yep, that is. Well done, Marnick.
There you go. There you go. 10 points for Gryffindor. We can't go around it. It's still the pandemic all over the place, all around the world. But of course, you can look at the bad things, but there's also a lot of opportunity in there. And it's a big change for people. And I recently, just to say it in my words, heard someone say, we're not going to go to the new normal, we're going to go to the next normal, because we're going to take some parts of the old normal and some parts of this situation we're in, and you're going to use it. How do you see your organization, let's say, post-pandemic? What are you taking along? What do you see as the opportunity to must keep those things and the things that you just want to move forward? What are the opportunities there post-pandemic?
Could you want me to go with it? I think that some of the things that we've looked at is the whole thing around working from home, right? As Accenture, because of our technology and stuff, it was very easy for us to have our people work from home, and we generally have quite a good flexibility in terms of people working from home. But what we found, and something that we will take forward, is that it's made our people's lives much easier to be working from home in certain aspects. I mean, there are the challenges that, as Milan spoke about, around that work-life balance and long hours, and trying to find a balance, especially, from having personal responsibilities and work responsibilities. But one of the benefits has been the fact that people are comfortable to working from home. There's less time in the traffic. I think it is a more relaxed sort of atmosphere, and that's something we definitely will be taking forward.
Okay. All right. You see me sometimes looking left or right. I'm super interested in what you're saying about just checking the iPads and the questions, just so you know that it's not Marnick where you're looking. Anything to add on that, or we can go to the next
Nothing
next
else
question?
from me.
Okay,
we can
cool.
Go to the next question.
Then next question, I'll mention also the name Jessica asked from Volkswagen. She's saying that we're going back to the projects. She's saying, I'll just read it. You said that you already implemented it in different countries. So she's talking about the I Am Human project, probably, that we were discussing before. You said that you already implemented it in different countries. Was there also, and I think this is a really good question, was there also a different approach regarding mental health for the different countries? Question from Jessica.
I'll take that. So I think the approach that we always take is localization. So it is critical to ensure that the issues that we respond to and address when it comes to any issues speak directly to the local market. So in the US, for example, a lot of what was embedded and the timing relating to the mental health campaign and I Am Human campaign was related directly to Black Lives Matter, for example, and supporting our people that are affected by the impact, of the happenings of last year. So definitely in each of the specific countries, the nuance and really adapting it to the local context was a critical component.
All right. Kesh, anything? Oh, Kesh, I'm also, I'm already feeling very comfortable. I'm also in the, I don't know if I can say Kesh, but
You can go with Kesh, Marnick.
I'm feeling so comfortable in this conversation. We could go. I'm in the Kesh zone already. No, I hope that Jessica. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I'm just gonna check because there's a slight delay if there's anything more coming in. Ta-ta-tum. Okay, yeah. It's also something that came back, and this is probably the last one, so I'm looking at my timing. It's also, I don't know if you saw the speech of Mariana in the main room, but there also was the questions about the purpose, and it comes a bit back if you look at the I Am Human and you look at the solar electricity. It's all big, yeah, purpose-driven projects. How do you determine within a company, if it's Accenture, is it Jessica from Volkswagen, anything else? How do you decide, because there's also the question to Mariana that's coming back, how do you decide what that purpose is? How do you find that? Is it something that magically appears? Is it through innovation? Is it, how do you decide this is what we as a company stand for and are going to invest time in, like, for example, the I Am Human?
Sure. So I'll start off, Katie, you can jump in on this. So I think we actually recently have launched our new purpose, right? And our purpose is to deliver on the promise of technology and human ingenuity every day, you know, and make a difference in the lives of people, right? And businesses. So, and it wasn't just, you know, it's essentially, and it was well thought of. It was around what we want to be known as an organization. It was around, and we had. And we actually pulled it with our people, with our leadership, before finalizing on what our purpose is. And it's around, you know, what do we want to be known for? Where do we want to make the biggest difference? I mean, like I said, you know, our capability is digital cloud and security, you know, and it's using what we're good at and how do we try to make differences in the lives of businesses and people. So that's how we looked at it in terms of deciding what was going to be our purpose.
And I'll add on there, Kesh, just around the urgency of having to respond, you know, to the large challenges that we have, you know, globally, and really shifting the focus around people, planet, profit, you know, and broadening the stakeholder lens beyond just profit and investors, for example. It's really saying, how do we as an organization really dig deep to ensure that we are responding, you know, to these challenges and the sustainable goals, as Keshnie mentioned, you know, to be as targeted as possible.
All right. Okay. Hope that answers the questions. I'm looking at the timing, ladies. Of course, we can chat because this is a hot topic. We can chat all day, definitely because I'm in the cash zone right now. I have to wrap it up, ladies. Thank you so much for the presentation, for the breakout, for the answer of the questions. I remember leadership, empathy, safe environment, getting people along, making sure that this ripple effect, working from home is gonna stay, and just find that purpose and go for things that really matter. Ladies, thank you very much, and for the people watching, thank you for attending. And I, for myself, will probably see you back in the main room. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having us.
Cheers.